Welcome to Anonymous Tarot. I'm Cleo, and I'm excited to be joined today by Billy to explore the mysteries of the tarot. Today, we're diving into the Nine of Wands, a card that speaks to us of completion, resilience, and the human experience of facing our own vulnerabilities.
I love how this card shows us standing at the edge of our own exhaustion, with just a few torches left to carry us through the night. It's like we are facing the darkness, and the only light is our own inner strength.
The Nine of Wands often represents a moment of climax, where we've reached the end of a difficult journey and are now facing the aftermath. It's a card of resolve and determination, but also of vulnerability and the need for support.
For me, this card feels like a reminder that our greatest triumphs are often preceded by our most profound struggles. It's a call to acknowledge our own weaknesses and to find the courage to ask for help when we need it.
In terms of symbolism, the nine wands themselves represent the nine virtues or qualities that we need to cultivate in order to achieve inner strength and resilience. This could be compassion, wisdom, or courage, whatever it is. It's a reminder that we have the power to shape our own destiny.
I think this card also speaks to the idea that our greatest challenges can also be our greatest teachers. The Nine of Wands reminds us that it's okay to not have all the answers, and that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply to stay the course and trust in our own inner guidance.
In ancient Greek mythology, the Nine of Wands is associated with the story of Hercules, and his labors. Specifically, the Nemean lion labor, where Heracles was tasked with slaying the fearsome lion that was terrorizing the city of Nemea.
I love how this card taps into the idea of self-sufficiency and the weight of responsibility. In the myth, Heracles is not just fighting the lion, but also fighting his own demons, both literal and metaphorical.
The Nine of Wands is also connected to the concept of hubris, the excessive pride and arrogance that can lead to one's own downfall. Heracles' labor serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of underestimating the power of one's enemies.
I think this card also speaks to the idea of being on the front lines of our own lives. We're not just fighting external enemies, but also our own inner struggles and self-doubt.
In Celtic mythology, the Nine of Wands is associated with the figure of Cernunnos, the horned god, who represents the connection between the human and natural worlds. This card is all about finding balance and harmony in our own lives.
The Nine of Wands is also a reminder that our greatest strength often lies in our vulnerability. By acknowledging our weaknesses and fears, we can begin to heal and move forward in a more authentic way.
The Nine of Wands is a card of protection, of self-defense, of standing strong in the face of adversity. In dreams, this card can indicate a need to shore up our own defenses, to create a sense of safety and security within ourselves, perhaps in the aftermath of a difficult experience.
That's so interesting, Cleo. I've noticed in my own dreams, the Nine of Wands often appears as a figure standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out at a vast expanse. It's as if they are surveying their kingdom, making sure everything is secure before they can move forward.
Ah, yes, the idea of surveying one's kingdom. In ancient cultures, the wands were often associated with the ruler's scepter, the symbol of power and authority. So, when we see this card in dreams, we're being invited to tap into our own inner strength and wisdom, to trust in our ability to navigate challenges.
That resonates deeply with me, Cleo. I've had dreams where the Nine of Wands appears as a protective shield, guarding me from something that's trying to harm me. It's a powerful symbol of resilience and determination.
The protective shield is a beautiful image, Billy. It reminds us that we don't have to face our fears alone. We can call upon our own inner resources, our own resilience to shield us from harm. And when we do, we become stronger, more capable, and more empowered to move forward.
I love how this card can also suggest a sense of boundaries, Cleo. We need to learn to set healthy limits with others, to prioritize our own needs and desires. The Nine of Wands reminds us that we can't pour from an empty cup, that we need to take care of ourselves first.
The Nine of Wands often depicts a figure standing alone, with their back to the horizon, surrounded by the remnants of a journey. It's a card of protection, self-reliance, and perseverance in the face of adversity.
I think this card also speaks to the human need for solitude and retreat. The figure in the card is not running from their problems, but rather standing strong, like a sentinel guarding their inner sanctum.
The ancient Greeks associated the Nine of Wands with Apollo, the god of the sun, who was said to travel the world, bringing light and protection to those in need. This card can be seen as a symbol of that divine light within us.
I see it more as a call to explore our own inner landscapes. The Nine of Wands is like a warning that our greatest challenges often lie within ourselves, and that we must confront them head-on in order to grow and heal.
It's also worth noting that this card can indicate a sense of completion or fulfillment, as if the figure has reached the end of a difficult journey and is now standing on solid ground. It's a card of triumph over adversity.
But what about the loneliness that can come with standing alone? The Nine of Wands can be a card of isolation, of feeling like we are the only ones carrying the weight of our own burdens. How do we navigate that sense of disconnection?
The Nine of Wands represents the moment when the journey is almost over, and the traveler is finally nearing the end of their path. But what's interesting is that this card can also indicate a moment of pause, a moment where the traveler is faced with the realization that they've been running on autopilot, and they need to take a step back and reevaluate their journey.
I love how this card flips the script on the idea of achievement. We often think of the Nine of Wands as a card of completion, but what if it's actually a card of realization? What if the journey is about realizing our own limitations and the need to slow down and pay attention to our inner world?
Exactly. And when we think about the symbolism of the 9 warriors carrying their burdens, I think it's a powerful metaphor for the ways in which we carry our own emotional and psychological burdens with us. This card is all about being mindful of our own inner landscape.
That's so true, and I think this card is also about the danger of becoming too comfortable, too complacent. When we are too comfortable, we can get caught up in a sense of routine and forget to listen to our own inner wisdom.
I think that's where the idea of home comes in. The 9 of Wands is all about finding our way back to ourselves, to our own inner sense of home and belonging. It's about recognizing that true completion is not about achieving some external goal, but about finding peace and contentment within.
I like how you bring that up, Cleo. For me, this card is also about the power of pause and reflection. It's about taking a deep breath and being still, rather than rushing forward into the unknown. Sometimes, the best thing we can do is simply be present.
The 9 of Wands is a card of carrying the weight of our burdens, of shouldering the responsibility for our own survival. It's a call to acknowledge that we are capable of carrying our own load, and that we must do so if we want to emerge unscathed from the trials that lie ahead.
For me, this card feels like a reminder that our struggles are not just external, but also internal. We carry the weight of our own fears, our own doubts, and our own limitations. It's a card about the need to confront and integrate these parts of ourselves, rather than trying to escape or deny them.
I love how this card often shows us carrying a staff or a burden, symbolizing our inner strength and resilience. It's a powerful image that reminds us that we are not just passive recipients of external circumstances, but active participants in our own lives.
The staff in this card often represents our inner wisdom, our intuition. When we carry it, we are acknowledging that we have the power to navigate our own path, to make our own decisions. It's a card about trusting ourselves even when the journey ahead feels uncertain.
I think this card can also be seen as a reminder that our burdens are not just physical, but also emotional and psychological. We must learn to tend to our own wounds, to nurture ourselves, in order to carry the weight of our responsibilities.
And yet, despite the weight of this card, there's also a sense of liberation, of freedom. When we carry our own load, we're not relying on others to save us. We are taking responsibility for our own lives, and that's a profoundly empowering feeling.
The cards have spoken.
We'll see you at the next draw.